Can't let go. I can't let you go. I try, but I always know. I wish you was holding me close. Can't be without you, I'd rather overdose. When you fucked up on them pills, you can't hear me cry. Without them, you're sick, and we both know why. Pint after pint till the well runs dry. If only you love me like you love getting high. I can't let you go. I try, but I always know. I wish you was holding me close. Can't be without you, I'd rather overdose. Fucked up, can't slow down, won't come down. Don't know how, my dad's dead, my mom's proud. Got bro stuck in our hometown. My bank account got zeros. I'm supposed to be the hero, but here I am, still fucking up. I'll drink my weight in beer though. I know that you hate me and I hate me too. I can't get over what I did to you. You tried to help me and it wasn't going through. I hope that you miss me, cause I miss you too. But I can't let you go. I try, but I always know. I wish you was holding me close. Can't be without you, I'd rather overdose. I can't let you go. I try, but I always know. I wish you was holding me close. I can't be without you, I'd rather overdose.
Please don't walk away. I'm too high, please don't look me in my face. You lose faith with every pill I take. I can't be without you, I'd rather die today. You're too blind to see you have a disease. Love pills and whiskey more than you love me. Pint after pint erasing our memories. If only you loved me like you love smoking weed. Please don't walk away. I'm too high, please don't look me in my face. You lose faith with every pill I take. I can't be without you, I'd rather die today.
When you fucked up on them pills, you can't hear me cry. Without them, you're sick, and we both know why. Pint after pint till the well runs dry. If only you love me like you love getting high. I can't let you go. I try, but I always know. I wish you was holding me close. Can't be without you, I'd rather overdose.
So, the reason I played that is because I just had a very emotional moment. I've told you guys about the sister I've had to go search for in Ohio and that whole situation. She's the one that's, let me turn my camera on. She's the one that's right below me that I raised her kids, and we don't talk often. And when I get a message from her, it's usually her being mad at me because I'm bitching at her. It's very rare for her to send me a song. And she sent me that song today and just got me emotional, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope it's a sign that she's thinking and remembering life. However, now, I have a moment. My husband's up. Everything's good. He's in the kitchen doing dishes. The baby's taking a nap in the living room. The rest are out of the house, except for the other kids. One's in her room on her tablet, the other one's preoccupied. Hey, Lady R. I'm sorry, I just had a really emotional moment. It's meaningful when my sister sends me something, and that's my point of one of my points of being here is to show you how addiction causes harm to families. And today's a rough day. I had a rough morning coming on here on trial with my daughter. I was upset this morning. It's just been a rough emotional day. We all have those, right? Freaking car seat. Everybody's good. Okay. Now, I just watched Dr. Birch. Oh, no. And that's what I'm here. I'm here to show this, I want addiction on this earth to stop. I know what it's like to have two siblings that are addicted, both bad situations that involve children. And I want to show the world the other side of addiction, the people that are hurt by it. That's very important to me. And that was a big part of when I started my channel of what I wanted to do, you know? I'm actually not. Thank you, honey. I'm actually not mad about today's trial. First of all, Dr. Birch did well. Okay. Secondly, prosecution calls Paul Simon up. Okay. Oh, the first half with Danny. I ain't too worried about that neither because what you guys, I don't know if you paid attention, what they did was they now allowed the text messages of her cheating with the drug dealer into court. So that's going to come into play because her attorneys did what they did to Danny today and they lied and they put the text messages out of order and they gave the wrong context of the messages. They confused Danny. That could also cause a mistrial. Yeah. Only Danny's part. Oh, that's all you seen? Okay, so then after him, Dr. Birch, they had the pediatrician come up. I don't think she was too helpful, okay, to be honest, except for she stating Billy takes the kids to the doctor's office, right? So that would be a plus for Quinton, not Danny. A lot of people think I'm on here for Danny. I'm not. I'm here for Quinton. And that's why I want you guys to hear what I have to say about Leilani's brother. Okay? Let me take a drink. So, we can see this kid ain't too smart, right? Something I want you to remember with him is that his mother was evicting him before Leilani. He had just moved in. And to me, just speculating by observation, I feel like Billy Joe abused him. I don't think he was brought up right. He's not proper speaking, but he's honest. Blunt rappers. He's acting like an idiot on a stand. His mom couldn't even sit down with him and teach him how to speak when he went on to the stand. However, they told him to be honest. Ah, fuck. They're back. Or did I go back? Hold on. No, they're back. Damn it. I'll be back.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Parker. All right, Mr. Simon, please have a seat. And you are still under oath. Mr. Simon, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and have a seat, Ms. Simon. So we're back on the record now in SPCR 22-03364J6, the state of Georgia versus Leilani Marie Simon. Mr. Simon has taken his place once again on the stand. He understands he's still under oath. And Mr. Simon, you mentioned earlier about polygraph. There's been a motion in limine which your court is granting. Do not mention polygraph. I don't expect you'll be asked any questions, but don't volunteer any answers, any responses about a polygraph. Do you understand? Have any questions? All right. Is the state ready to proceed?
The stage is ready, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
The defense is ready, Judge.
That was a no-no.
You're fine, Mr. Simon. Thank you very much, though. Mr. Hilliard,
Yes.
I believe you have Mr. Simon on cross. When we have them. Jurors, please. Thank you, Solomon.
Jury's not entering.
Thank you, Birch. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Thank you. Welcome back after that short break. Did anyone have any discussions about the case? Did anyone do any research? Okay. And with that, we will proceed. Mr. Hilliard.
Mr. Simon, my name is Martin Hilliard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. No complaints. I've got some questions for you, and I'm probably going to start on October 5th and work back a little bit. You were already at home on the morning of October 5th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you said you woke up, you went outside, took your dog outside.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to kind of approach the witness and show him State's Exhibit real quick. I'll show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 9. If you would, the upstairs bedroom that you stay in, which bedroom is that? Does it overlook the pool? Does it overlook the front yard, the side yard?
It overlooked the pool and the driveway.
Okay.
Because the way the bathroom was faced was towards the outside driveway.
Okay.
Then the room I was in faced towards the inside of the driveway.
All right. So based upon what you're looking at right there, would it be above the dining room or the living room or somewhere in that area?
By the living room.
By the living room?
Right above it.
Okay. And so you could look out over the pool and the patio and the parking area, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And this other bedroom right here,
Look towards the front.
towards the front.
Yes, sir.
Just trying to get an orientation. All right. So you were at home that night around the night of October 4th, around 11:40. Was a text message between you and your coworkers that Mr. Dean was just talking about, correct?
Yes, sir.
You remember sending that?
Yes, sir.
Were you awake?
I was trying to go to sleep, so I was kind of trying to end the conversation pretty fast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I was already laid down at 11 to go to sleep, and so when a text message came through, it kind of woke me up a little bit.
Okay.
And so I was just trying to get it done and over with. But yeah, I was a little bit awake.
All right. Well, let's just talk about that. So you were a little bit awake. Did you hear any doors opening and closing, or a ruckus, or anything going on at that point in time?
No, sir.
Okay. And I don't know because I don't know anything about the house, but if the door for the living room or the dining room open or closed, can you hear that from upstairs or no?
You can hear a car door shut, but you can't really hear the door shut unless it's slammed.
Okay. So if the dining room door, the living room door shut, you
Mm.
wouldn't necessarily hear it.
No, sir.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but
Mm.
if there's a car door outside slammed, you would definitely hear that.
Yes.
And so, did you hear that at any point in time that evening?
Around about 11:20, I heard a car door shut, and it was Leilani coming back in from getting cigarillos. And I just kind of laid there and ignored it because I just finished my episode and I was heading to bed.
Okay. So about 11:20, you heard the car door shut.
Mm.
Now, in the morning times, do you hear when anybody leaves for work?
No, sir. Being passed out, I don't.
You,
After working, I don't really hear a whole lot.
understandable. So you slept through the morning of October 5th till about 9:30, correct?
I woke up about 8:30, but I laid there until 9.
Okay. And you, at that point in time, had you heard anything?
I heard a little bit of yelling, but like I said, that was an everyday thing, so I just didn't pay no attention to it and laid there until I heard it move away where I couldn't hear it.
Mhm.
Then I got up and let the dog out. And that was about 9 o'clock was when I got up.
And you said you heard some yelling. What yelling did you hear?
I just heard Leilani screaming, but I didn't know what she was screaming about or nothing like that. I just heard screaming.
Okay. And you were taking the dog out when that happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said the police showed up and Daniel showed up, correct? And you said that you heard the yelling and the police showed up, and you said that Leilani was a complete mess, correct?
Yes, sir.
How about Daniel?
He wasn't really phased. He didn't look phased. He left work in a hurry, but other than that, the whole time he was more worried about what was going to happen to him throughout the whole thing, from what I saw.
Okay.
I mean, 3 days after it happened, he's up in North Carolina just that quick. Boom, gone. I mean, that just strikes me as not good, not right behavior when you're supposed to be.
When they make an objection, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Just a moment, I'm sorry. Was there an objection?
There was an objection, Judge. So
Mr. Dean?
Non-responsive.
This is Dan.
Mr. Simon,
Just a moment.
you have to let me ask the questions
Oh,
and
my
you
bad,
have to
I'm
answer
sorry.
them, okay? So you were there that day and you were there all day, correct? On October 5th.
Yes, sir, until the police took us.
Right. So you said when Danny got there, he seemed unfazed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said Leilani was a mess, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you answer all the questions that were put to you that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm curious, how at this point in time, how long had you known Daniel Youngkin?
About 4 months. All I really knew about him before that was that he was one of Leilani's baby daddies. That's all I knew about him before that.
All right. So, and when did you move into the house on Buckalter Road?
In about April, right after my birthday.
So, April of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this was in October of 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and I guess when you moved in, Danny and Leilani and the kids were already there.
Yes, sir. They were.
Okay. Now, did you ever notice Danny and Leilani either using drugs or drinking?
Danny drunk every day.
Right.
He'd be riding down the road drinking a Fireball, little shot, consistently every day.
All right. And you know, not being judgmental, but and Leilani smoked,
Yep, smoke weed.
and you did too.
Mhm.
Did you ever see him do anything else?
No, sir.
And if anything else was done,
I would have told my mom.
so that was not something you knew about.
No, sir. And I believe Leilani knew that, and that's why she constantly tried to hide it from me. That she was doing something that she didn't want me to know of.
And same thing for Danny, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So was it uncommon for the back door? And again, if you don't know, that's fine. But how did you normally come in and out of the house when you?
Through the back door.
And was that pretty much how everyone entered the house?
Yes, sir.
And was it uncommon that those doors would be unlocked?
Normally, since I was the one that got off work, the last one to be home, it would be locked whenever my stepdad would be home. But if it was everybody else, I would be the one that locked the door before I went up to bed.
So, and that's kind of what I was getting to. Normally, you were the one who locked the door when you came in at night,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And do you have any recollection doing so this particular night, the
Yes,
night
sir.
of October 4th?
I locked it when I came in, and I had went in and talked to Danny, and then went to bed.
And again, not being judgmental, but you smoke blunts. Do you smoke cigarettes, Paul?
I used to.
When did you quit?
About 3 years ago when I started vaping.
So you gave up cigarettes and started vaping.
Yes, sir.
How about Leilani? She smoked cigarettes?
Yes, sir.
And how about Danny?
Yep.
Okay. And whenever they were smoking at the house, where would they normally go to smoke?
Either the front or the back.
Were there ashtrays out there?
There was ashtrays in the back on the back porch, and there should have been one on the front porch. But then Lonnie started smoking after a few months of them moving down in that room.
Now, you said you came in the night of October 4th, and you saw Quinton, Zane, and Sky.
Guy was in the little swing thing where that's where she kind of just slept in that.
Mhm.
Zane was in his race car bed in the corner of the wall, and Quinton was right at the foot of the bed in the playpen.
And they were all good at that point in time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And had you ever seen, you said Danny seemed agitated when you got home. Anything abnormal, or was it just his normal?
It was just his normal whining and complaining, but he just, like I said, he just seemed a little bit more agitated. But I was like, don't worry, man. She's going to be back here in a while. Just rode up the road.
Did you ever see Leilani that evening?
I did not. I had already went to bed before I had saw her.
All right. And did you ever hear them two arguing or bickering at any point in time that evening?
No, sir.
That's all the questions I got, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Simon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dean, any redirect?
One moment, please. No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Simon, is there any reason not to excuse Mr. Simon?
Not on behalf of Ms. Simon, no.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Simon, you are excused, sir. The state may call its next witness.
Melanie Bowling, Your Honor.
Okay.
Close and raise your right hand, please.
The evidence you shall give the court and jury in the trial of this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
This way, ma'am.
Introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Melanie Bowling. I am 28 years old and I'm a mama.
What is your city and state of residence? What town do you live in?
Glenville, Georgia.
And how long have you lived in Glenville?
Going on 8, almost 9 years now.
Okay. Are you a little nervous this afternoon?
I am, I'm sorry.
I'm always a little nervous in court too. It's all right. If you need a break at any point, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the defendant?
I do.
How do you know her?
She used to live in the same neighborhood as me.
In Glenville, I presume?
Yes.
Okay. When you met her, how many children, if any, did she have at that point?
When I first met her, she had no kids.
Okay. And how did you meet her?
I met her through her ex-boyfriend, Cody Warden, which is her first child's father. I met him first because he lived out there and they started dating, and that's how I met her. And I looked at her and him as like little siblings that I wanted to help guide in the right direction. But that's how I met her.
And did you all live near one another for a period of time?
We did. We were right next door for a period of time, and then there was a period of time where she lived like walking distance from where I lived.
Okay. And then at some point, did she move away from Glenville?
Yes.
Okay. At the time that she moved away, did she have any children?
Yes, she had Zane.
Okay. So the time that she moved in near you would have been sometime shortly before Zane's birth?
Yes, it was about maybe 6 months or so before she got pregnant with him.
Before she got pregnant?
Yes.
And then was she living next to you, or next door to you during her pregnancy?
Yes.
And did she continue to live next door to you during the time that she actually had Zane?
Well, down a little bit, down the dirt road a little bit, but yes, it was still in the same neighborhood.
Okay, so you're saying by the time she had Zane, she had moved walking distance away?
Yes.
Was no longer right next door?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's kind of take chunks of time. Tell me about the nature of your relationship with her before she ever had Zane.
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, Cody, I met him first and he was going through a hard time. So like my husband and I took them in as, took him in as like a little brother to help guide in the right direction. She started dating him and, I got good vibes from her at first. I never suspected anything bad, and I kind of try to guide her in the right direction too. She ended up falling pregnant, and when she did, she was young, and I can relate to that because I was a teen mom myself. So I wanted to help her in any way possible to, with her child and be that support.
Were you friends with her during her pregnancy with Zane?
I was.
And did you remain friends with her after she gave birth to Zane and had him as a newborn?
I did, yes.
And did you all spend time together during both of those time periods?
Yes.
Did you spend time with her around both her and Zane?
Yes.
Okay. Were you all still living in the same town at the time she gave birth to Quinton?
No. I was, but she wasn't.
Okay. Can you tell me where she was and when she had left in relation to when she had Quinton?
So I know her and Cody moved to Alabama. That happened. And then I guess they broke up. She came back to Georgia to, I think, Waycross or somewhere, wherever Bubba Moss is from.
Waynesboro, sound right?
Waynesboro, yes, sir. I'm sorry, I get those mixed up. And she came back and she was staying with him in a camper, and she fell pregnant. They split up and she went back to Alabama, and Cody helped her.
And during you've talked about your contact with her during the time she lived near you.
Yes.
Right? In the same town.
Yes.
Did you all have daily or near daily contact at that point?
When she was pregnant with Quinton, it was about almost every other day, if not weekly.
Well, I want to ask specifically about when she lived in the same town as you.
Yes, every day.
Okay,
Yes,
every
sir.
day at that point.
Yes,
And then after she moved, and I understand it sounds like she bounced around a little bit.
she did.
What
And
was the nature of your contact with her after she moved away from Glen?
text message and phone call, FaceTime.
And how frequently did you say that you would have contact with her?
So when she got with Bubba, it kind of drifted off a little bit. And I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but we drifted off a little bit. And then she would, we contact out the blue. She'd call me, I text her, I call her, she texts me, vice versa, just to see how we are doing, I always checked in on her to see if she was doing okay, if the kids were okay, how they're doing, how big they're getting, stuff like that.
Did you talk to her on the phone regularly during her pregnancy with Quinton?
Yes.
About how often?
She updated me like with every appointment that she had.
Did she talk to you during those phone calls about things that were going on in her life?
Yes.
And tell me again how you viewed the nature of your relationship with her.
I viewed her, like I said, as a little sister that I wanted to help guide in the right direction.
So you were close.
Yes.
During her pregnancy with Quinton, where you're having this regular telephone contact with her,
Mm-hmm.
Did it include calls?
Yes.
Did it include text messages?
Yes.
Did it include FaceTime?
Yes, a couple times so I could see Zane.
Did you ever catch up over fairly long phone calls, or are we talking about like 1 or 2 minute things?
No, these were like hour-plus long phone calls.
And that's during her pregnancy with Quinton?
Yes.
During that type of contact that you described, did she talk to you about the state of her relationship with Quinton's father, Henry Bubba Moss Jr.?
It was rocky. They were fighting a lot. Then was a time where they did break up, and she was depressed. Made some comments to me that were concerning, but they fought a lot.
Like what kind of comments?
The comments which I, at the time, wanted to think maybe she was like depressed and going through something. That was my thought process, but thinking of it now, I don't know. But she would say how she wished maybe if I didn't have Quinton, if I would have had the abortion like Bubba wanted me to, he would still be here.
Now, is that something she said to you after Quinton had been born?
She has mentioned it after and while she was pregnant, yes.
Okay. And how did you react to those kind of comments?
It shocked me. I mean, I was like, like what? Coming with, I have 3 kids myself. I'm not the one to judge, someone on abortions and stuff, but she didn't want to have one, and that's on her, okay? But I did not. It was really shocking. I didn't agree with it, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
I want to ask you a couple more questions about those kind of remarks.
Yes.
You said that she made those remarks both before Quinton was born and after Quinton had been born.
Yes.
Roughly how many times would you say you remember her saying things like that?
Off the top of my head, but while she was pregnant with him and right after he was born, I'd say about 2 or 3 times.
Okay. And you said that the nature of the comment was maybe if I had had the abortion, Bubba would still be with me. And that was a remark she made both before Quinton was born and after he was born.
Yes.
Can I conclude from that then that Bubba had already left her before Quinton was born?
Yes.
And there's at least, sounds like 1 or 2 times where she said this, like, while Quinton was a newborn.
Yes. A newborn and while he was older too.
Now, I want to kind of move forward in time. Did you remain in contact with her to one degree or another over the phone throughout Quinton's short life?
Yes.
Okay. And let's say from, between Quinton's birth to October of 2022, how often would you say you were in contact with her during that time frame? And I understand it's like a year and a half.
Yes. So, trying to think. So she came to my son's party in 2019 with Danny. I asked her to bring the boys, and she said that her mom had
Let me
them.
just-
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to remember.
No, it's fine.
What was the question again, sir?
Okay. About how often were you? Let's just talk about, I don't know, the year leading up to October of 2022,
Okay.
when Quinton is no longer a newborn. Okay.
Yes.
How often would you be in contact with her at that point?
At that point, so it could be weekly sometimes, and then it would jump from weekly to monthly. And then I would have to be in contact with her. I would sometimes not get any contacts back for a few months. Then it come out the blue, she'll contact me and we can go from talking to each other for like 2 weeks straight, and then there'd be gaps again.
But in any case, it sounds like you never cut off contact completely.
No.
And would you, during this time frame, would you still sometimes have these long, extended phone conversations with her?
We did.
And would she talk to you about things that were going on in her life?
Yes.
And could you hear the children in the background at times?
Always.
Was there ever a time on any of these calls that you heard anything concerning directed towards Quinton?
I mean, besides, may I repeat what was said? It's cursing. Or should I blurt it?
Whatever your response is, you may give it.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted your permission.
So the rules here are, if you're, quoting, we would ask that you not just like insert your own.
No, I just want to hit what she exactly
If
said.
you're quoting somebody, yeah, tell us what you heard.
Okay. There's been times when she has been getting on to Quinton, saying, "Will you get the fuck down, you stupid little shit?" She will call them assholes, you little assholes. I told you to go do this. Now go do what the fuck I said before I beat your ass. Called him a bastard child out of anger. I guess he was doing something like climbing on the table, and she told him to get down several times. And she's like, this is why I wish I never had you, wish I would have aborted you, and stuff like that.
And I just want to make it clear the circumstances in which you're hearing this. Are you physically present with her when you're hearing these things?
No, sir.
You're on the phone with her.
Yes.
And you can hear her saying these things over the phone.
Yes.
Okay. Let's kind of break these things down. You said something about her calling him a bastard child and saying
Yes.
something about his dad.
Yes.
Tell us what you remember about that.
I know when she would get really frustrated with him that she can be unpredictable and say things very harshly that a normal mother would not say. And about, I wish I never had you, wish I would have had an abortion. So I wish I never had your dad, got with your dad, so I would have never had you. Stuff like that.
And are you sure she was referring to Quinton?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
Because she would yell, "Quinton, what the fuck did I just tell you?" And then go on with what I just said.
I think you also mentioned asshole or something.
Yes, asshole. For him acting like a 15-year-old acting, or a 15-month-old acting like an asshole.
Could you tell over the phone what he was doing, or if anything, or what was going on that caused her to have these outbursts?
I could hear the kids like, playing, screaming, running around, like what kids do. I have 3 kids myself, 2 boys and a daughter. So boys being boys, they get rough with each other. And, that happens. Okay. But instead of like, hey, you guys can keep your hands to yourself, time out and do the separate them or whatever, she would start cussing and snapping and yelling and calling names. Now,
how would you react, if at all? I don't know whether you.
I was speechless, sir. I mean, I would try to be like, hey, calm down. You're just mad. You don't need to be saying those kinds of things. You don't mean it, thinking, she didn't mean it. That was my assumptions. Okay. But I would try to calm her down and be like, hey, chill out. Like, take a breather. They're just kids. They're little kids. Like, this is going to happen.
Did you ever hear anything that sounded, you've talked about what you've talked about to this point. Would you characterize it as verbal abuse?
Yes, and I've heard her whip them, but I can't, like I said, it's whoopings, so I don't know if she's using her hand on their butt. I don't know what she's using. It's on the phone call.
Okay, so for that, you're saying you can't say whether it was or was not reasonable parental discipline.
Exactly.
But you've heard stuff like that.
Yes.
Did overall, based on all your interactions with her and all your observations, did you develop the impression that she felt differently about Quinton than she did about Zane?
Yes, because every time I would speak to her, she would always speak highly about Zane and her youngest one after she was born, but never about Quinton, even though he was the sweetest little thing ever.
What kind of things would she say about Zane?
Talking about how well he is, how smart he is, how he knows his ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, so on and so forth. The potty training, stuff about Cody and her, just talking highly about him and how good he's doing from when I last seen him as a little baby.
And do you remember hearing anything like that about Quinton?
No.
Just to be clear, did you ever yourself physically meet Quinton?
I have never physically met Quinton, no.
And is that because you all had already she had moved away
right
at the time before she had?
But yes, I have FaceTimed him after he was born and seen him, I FaceTimed him and Zane and Sky when she was a little baby too.
One moment, please.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Bowling, you said that you met Miss Simon in 2019 with Danny?
No, I met her in 2017, 2018 when she was dating Cody.
All right, maybe I misheard. You said you met her in 2019 at a birthday party with Danny.
She brought Danny to my son's birthday party that I invited her and her children to come to in 2019.
Okay, so you're saying that Danny Youngkin attended a birthday party with you in 2019 with Miss Simon, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that's the hill you're going to die on.
I believe that was Danny, yeah. That's who it looked like.
All right. Are you aware that she didn't meet Mr. Youngkin until 2020?
Say that's not what I'm not aware of. I say because she brought that man to my birthday party.
Well, you just sat here under oath and said it was Danny Youngkin.
That's what she told me. That was his name, Danny, that she was bringing through messages on Facebook Messenger, sir.
Ms. Bowling, when was the last time you actually physically, let me ask you this. When did you ever physically meet Quinton Simon?
I never physically met him.
Okay. So in 20 months of his life, you never once saw him in person, correct?
Correct.
Right. And when was the last time prior to that you had met and hung out with Miss Simon?
prior to his birth.
His birth.
Okay. Prior to his birth was the birthday party, 2019.
Okay. So at least 2.5 years prior, well, maybe a year and a half prior to his birth then?
Well, actually, that was, yeah, roughly, yeah.
Okay. So at that point in time, had Zane been born?
Yes.
Okay. So now you said that originally y'all would talk every day.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was weekly. Then it was every other week. Then it was monthly. Then it was every few months, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Not really a strong friendship there, is it?
Well, sir, we did have a very strong friendship, but again, like I've said before, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And the path she was going down was a path that I clearly could not help her out of.
Miss Bowling, you and Miss Simon started smoking weed together in 2017. So let's not pretend this is some sort of Sunday school
You're
thing.
right, sir. Okay. But the thing is, I never done cocaine. I never did ecstasy, nor pills.
Okay.
That was in 2017, sir.
That was.
That was a long time ago. And I don't anymore.
Okay. Well, congratulations to you. And that being said, was that the reason y'all hung out, was to smoke weed together?
No. The reason well, maybe for her, because she likes to use people. But to me, it was, hanging out with Cody, helping him get back on his feet because of what he had to endure and go through at that time, which is a different matter from this court.
You have some rather unique beliefs, don't you, Miss Bowling?
Beliefs.
Yes.
Can you define that, please? Or elaborate it for me, please?
I can. Do you remember meeting with Mr. Dean on August 13th of this year?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember telling him about some experiences you had on August 13th and conveying those to him?
Yep.
Okay. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you not tell him that you had communed with Quinton Simon's ghost?
Yes. And if you would like, I can actually do it here and show you guys.
Oh, please, by all means. I would love to see this.
Give me a holy Bible and a candle. Yes, sir.
So, that being said, you told Mr. Dean this, correct?
I sure did.
And you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, your husband videotaped the seance, correct?
He did.
And anytime I'm making a misstatement as to what you said that Quinton Simon spoke to you through a candle.
He spoke to me through images.
Okay.
Okay. When I was in my trance, I couldn't see anything except for what he was showing me and what he was telling me as a 15-month-old could do.
Okay. And so he was a 15-month-old ghost speaking to you. Please tell me about this. I would love to hear it.
Okay. So this is what I did. And I lit my candle, had my Bible out, and I prayed. I asked if I could reach out to Quinton Simon. And here he comes. Behold. Do I see him physically? No. But here he is. And he is Mama Mel. That's what I was always called by them. Mama Mel, help me. I said, with what? I said, help me help you. What happened? He said, Mommy hurt me. I asked him, how did he hurt you? Or how did she hurt you? Sorry. And he told me, she hit me in the head really hard. I said, okay. I was like, what else? And I said, did you, get any candy, thinking maybe he got into drugs or something? And he said, no. I said, okay, where are you? And he threw me the star of the church that's next to the landfill on that dirt road right there next to Little Neck Road on the dump. He showed me exactly where he was in that pile with his arm hanging out, lifeless, gray, and there's blood in a bag that looked like it used to be like a bluish purple color. And he's throwing up blood. After I closed out the seance, I prayed and I said, I wish you peace and to pass on peacefully, and we'll get the justice you need. Okay. I prayed, closed it out. That was that. Blew out the candle, turned on the lights, and my hoverboard that both my son had, that was completely destroyed because he took it through a mud puddle. When you take a hoverboard, electric hoverboard through a mud puddle, it's done. It started turning on and off by itself and moving, even though it's completely done for, and I've tried charging it and nothing.
And what date was this?
What day was that? That was, be honest with you, is sometime in November of 2022. I don't know the exact day. I do not.
So this was after they announced they found remains in the landfill.
No, this is actually before the indictment report came out. I had the dream, which I told them already, but yes. Okay.
So it was in November, correct?
Roughly, maybe the end of October. It's in that time area. I also had a major craniotomy that year, so my memory's a little.
What's a craniotomy?
Where you have to have a major brain surgery. They take your skull off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you had a craniotomy?
I did.
And you told all this to Mr. Dean?
To Mr. Yes.
Mr. Dean. That's all the questions I have.
Melanie, is it fair to say that I brought you into my office to talk about concrete things that you heard the defendant say over the years about Quinton?
Yes.
Okay. And that you volunteered the information about the seance, right?
I did. Because I don't know if you guys recognize that kind of stuff or not.
And do you remember me telling you, well, I have to tell the defense about this because it's a thing you've said as a witness, but that it's seance information is not admissible in court.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
And do you remember acknowledging pretty even-handedly that you understand that not everybody believes in these things?
I do. And that's why I didn't want to speak upon it like that. Yes, sir.
Now, you've said that you had a Bible with you while you were doing this.
Yes.
And it was a Christian Bible.
Yes, sir. I was baptized and raised as a Christian.
Do you remain a practicing Christian?
I sure do, sir.
Do you consider this some sort of a prayer practice, what you're describing?
Yes, sir. I mean, in a way.
Do you consider it a private matter?
A private matter? Yes.
How does it feel to come into court and essentially get made fun of for it?
You to be honest with you, it's kind of embarrassing because, like you said, not everybody believes in this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I was born with a gift that I call a curse.
Now, does any of this have anything to do with the things that you heard her say about her son, both before and after his birth?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just one or two follow-ups. Ms. Bowling, you're willing to hold yourself up to ridicule to get justice for Quinton, aren't you?
Excuse me?
Said you're willing to hold yourself up to public ridicule to get justice for Quinton, aren't you?
I guess so. I'm here to get justice for him, so.
What aren't you willing to do for Quinton's justice?
Well, I've done everything I can possibly for his justice.
Thank you so much.
Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Bowen, you excuse me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Dean. Has it been about an hour? Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm getting a motion for getting a sign for timeout, and I was thinking we've been going at it for a while now. You're probably due for a break. Ms. Parker.
Your Honor, I was just going to let the court know that our next witness may be lengthy. She's here, we can call her, but I wanted the court to be aware that it may require us to go after 5 o'clock. So just letting the court know to decide timing.
All right. I'm inclined to hear this witness today, but let's take a break. It's 4:16. Let's break until 4:30.
You're exiting.
What the fuck was that? What was
As a matter
that?
of fact, let's make it let's make it 4:35 instead of 4:30.
What was that? Oh my God. They're all going to go crazy. All the psychics are going to be like, they used it. Right, Suzette? Freaking bring out the holy water. What the hell was that? Oh my God. Wait till I show Earl
Thank you.
that.
Let me ask you, can you easily get the jurors outside so they can get a little fresh air? Would that take us longer than 20 minutes to get them down and out?
Still talking.
All right, let's do that. I have a feeling this next witness may take a while. Okay, all right. Thank you. We're in recess.
Oh, I wonder who the next witness is. It might be the babysitter's daughter. This is a hell of a trial. What is this, a circus? Today is like a woo-doozy. You got the brother. I'm trying to be nice. Let me shut up. I don't want to play. I'm going to wait till after to play polls. We're going to do this again. We're going to play this again. Yeah, maybe BJ. I doubt. Is she in anybody's chat today? I'm going to smoke a bowl. That's what I'm going to do. I can't wait to go to bed tonight. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is insanity. What the hell was that? Like, bring out the Ouija board. Play it. Play what? Oh, Paul? Okay. We could do that. You're right. That'll take some time. I'll be able to sleep later. Hold on. I love that doctor. I want to rewatch him. I could talk about a lot of stuff he talked about today. That was great. Okay.
Okay, the state may call its next witness.
Paul Simon.
Raise your right hand, please. The evidence you shall give the court and jury in the trial of this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Step this way.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing today?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty well. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Paul Simon.
And you are the defendant's brother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you mind if I call you Paul?
No, sir. Go ahead.
If you prefer Mr. Simon, let me
No,
know.
you
and I'll
can
do
call
that.
me Paul.
Okay. How old are you, Paul?
23.
And what is your city and state of residence? Where do you live now?
I live in Eden, Georgia.
Do you work?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I do construction and I'm a manager at AutoZone.
Did you grow up in the area?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to high school?
New Hampstead.
I want to draw your attention to fall of 2022.
Mm.
Do you remember the general time period I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where were you living in the fall of 2022?
535 Buckcarter Road.
And whose house is that?
My mother's.
Okay. And where were you staying in that house during that time period?
Upstairs and towards the back side of the house.
When had you started living there?
3 to 4 months prior.
Prior to what?
Prior to the incident.
Okay. Now, where had you lived before that?
With my aunt,
Okay. What's her name?
Jackie.
Okay. So you lived with your Aunt Jackie and then you moved back in with Mom at some point?
Yes, sir.
Were you working in that time period?
Yes, sir. I was working at a warehouse. I can't remember the name. It was Eclipse, I believe.
Okay. Was it the same place that your sister and Danny worked?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about a normal day there. What did you do?
We loaded packages up onto trailers and moved them around the warehouse into different trailers all day. Just stacking them and wrapping them and sending them off.
Now, when you moved into your mom's house a couple months before what you described as the incident, were your sister and Danny and the 3 kids already living there?
Yes, sir.
Had Sky already been born at that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what was it like living there with everybody in that house?
Well, pretty much every day, from what I heard and saw, it was just arguing every day. I mean, not between the kids or nothing like that, but it was between Leilani and Danny.
Okay. What about your mom?
Whenever my mom was there, they did argue quite a good bit.
And who's that?
Leilani and my mom.
Okay. Let's go to the morning of. Well, let me ask you this. Tell me about the kids, the 3 kids, Zane, Quinton, and Sky.
Zane, hyper, want to be in everybody's business. But I mean, that's average for his age, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Quinton, he was an angel. Like, you could change his diaper. He'd lift his butt right up for you. No problem at all with it. You put the diaper, you tell him to lower his butt, he'd lower it, let you clean them all up, no problem at all. Zane, that boy had crap all up his head one time, and I made me clean it in the back of the car. Man, that was a whole, I don't know how I managed that one.
Can I ask you this? Did you participate in the child care at all during your time living in the house?
Kinda. It was on and off. It was whenever they needed me.
Yeah. Tell us about your interactions with the kids.
So a few times I had to take them to doctor's appointments, which wasn't a problem because, people was at work,
I really have no words. Where was Billy? You have this brother that can't even understand life. Taking children that Billy Joe was supposed to be in charge of to doctor's appointments. He also dropped them off and picked them up from the babysitter. Where was Leilani? Where was Billy? Got the question, why? I wish they can ask so many more questions. My cats are hissing. Here we go. Why? I'm going to look back and see in a minute. But I wish they could ask so many more questions in these courtrooms, man. So many more. Okay, let's continue. I wanted to comment on that earlier when I wasn't live. I came live, like, what, halfway through his testimony. Okay.
And I happened to have the day off or whatever, you know. So I take him to the doctor's appointment because I didn't have to be at work till 2. And then I drop him off at the babysitter. And then whenever Leilani would need me to watch him, I'd watch him upstairs. I'd bring some toys upstairs into my room and let him play with it. Tell him, hey, that's your area. Don't mess with none of my stuff. You know?
Tell me about watching them upstairs in your room.
They just sit there, play with the toys, want a whole lot of snacks. And of course, I wouldn't give them snacks right away. You know, you ain't about to be all hyped up on me.
Does this include Sky, or are you talking mainly about Zane and Quinton?
Zane and Quinton, I didn't actually watch Sky. She was still, you know, relatively young, you know, like 3 or 4 months old, somewhere around there. So I didn't actually watch Sky, but I watched Zane and Quinton quite a bit whenever they needed me to.
Did you ever help them, you know, and maybe not because of the shift you work, but did you ever help with getting them dressed in the morning, getting them fed, getting them bathed and put down at night or anything like that?
I bathed them once or twice when I was there, and has
This guy's bathing the kids once or twice when he's there. Is she there for her effing kids she created now? Well, we got 2 children in prison. And the young man, remember, we're being nice, the bigger person. But the young man you're looking at on the stand here. Then you got the brother that knew Billy, but it's not Billy's child. You know what I'm sad about most here? Is I did a lot of research on this. I have to go back and look because you guys know I cover some or two and I get things confused and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but their family, her family, the Hawaiian family, is from Florida, like the Miami area. Her father's not involved in her life and he's also been in and out of prison her whole life. Then her mother married a black man. It's real heavy set. It looked like maybe for money. And to be honest with you, Leilani's family does not look Hawaiian. Maybe a portion of it, they look Cuban to me. I don't quite understand, but her dad's side of the family is quite scary. Some of them. Earl. Oh, I did. I went in the kitchen. I got some macaroni. And I seen you weren't in the living room. I figured you were. Thank you for watching. Are the kids okay? Right. Grandma and grandpas give baths, not uncles. And even with Earl, he's uncomfortable doing it. Remember, I didn't get no sleep the other day? I woke up and he's like, oh my God, it was a disaster. He hates giving baths. I'm like, what do you mean it was a disaster? He was like, the baby pooped all up his back. I tried to give him a hobo bath with wipies, but it wasn't good enough. He stunk so bad. So I had to throw him in his little bathtub. I was like, why didn't you wake me? I'll tell you why, because nobody was really caring for them kids. Them kids just, in my opinion, lived there, ran around the house, did whatever they wanted. They were unsupervised. We hear stories when they might have a neighbor come on. I'm really curious to see who all these witnesses are going to be. We hear neighbors stating that Quinton was outside. They found him in a ditch or something one time. The babysitter found them in the pool. The daughter's going to... That's probably why they have her on the stand, because it was her that found them in the pool. Yep, all dope heads. It's sad. You're looking at addiction at its finest. And they come from a whole family of criminals. I do too. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be better than your predecessor, right? I strive to be. I'm not. I'm not. A fuck up. You see me sitting here smoking cigarette after cigarette, having emotional breakdowns, dealing with family issues. That's what I want you guys to see. But not in a negative light, but in a light of struggle. Like I said earlier, what it's like to be on the other side of addiction and deal with it and what that does with families. I feel like that is the biggest kept secret. Families will say, no, don't tell people we have an addict in our family. And then that addict suffers because it's a secret. And then the addicts go, don't tell anybody my business. Like, addicts are crazy, dude. I love my sisters, but they are fucking totally 100% insane. I give honest opinions here. However, we still love them. They were still people before they were addicts. It's a struggle. Their children suffer, their mothers suffer, fathers suffer, nieces and nephews, sisters. Me and my sister, when we were little, we were all we had before the other 3 younger kids were born. I remember winters like snuggling on a porch trying to get warmth from a coat below 0 weather because my mom was at the fucking bar. And we couldn't get in the house after school. Like, that's my sister. Yeah, they found the babies in the pool. The babysitter did found Quinton in the pool and Shane, I think. That's probably what she's going to testify to. And other neighbors were on the news saying, I seen the baby outside all the time. Hey, Holler. Right, it's reality gossip. And we love our family members. And that's the thing, like, society has stepped in and said that because somebody has an addiction. And I agree. I 100% agree that it is not an illness. Okay. However, I also think it's a lot, I would say 99% of the time, it stems from mental illness, it comes from traumas. So, but I do want to watch this, and that judge is going to come back on, and we're not live. I mean, we could just keep going if you guys don't mind watching it late, but okay, hold on.
As far as feeding, I would help
I do have to be off of here by 8 because hubby goes to work.
with that, but it was more so when I was there, because I was working from 2 to 10, so they usually eat between 6 and 9 at night, give or take those time periods.
And he started saying some nice things about Quinton earlier, and I did not follow up, and I guess I'll do that now.
Mm-hmm.
What was your relationship like with Quinton?
Well, he loved me. I mean, he'd come up to me, he'd put his arms over my knees, and I'd just sit there and bounce him for a good hour or two till my legs got tired. You know, he weighed a good 20, 30 pounds. But, I mean, I loved him. I mean, I tell him to shut up. But, I mean, that was about as mean as it got towards him with me, you know what I mean?
In the child care at all during your time living in the house?
Kinda. It was on and off. It was whenever they needed me.
Yeah. Tell us about your interactions with the kids.
So a few times I had to take them to doctor's appointments, which wasn't a problem because, you know, people was at work, you know, and I happened to have the day off or whatever, you know. So I'd take them to the doctor's appointment because I didn't have to be at work till 2. And then I'd drop them off at the babysitter. And then whenever Leilani would need me to watch them, I'd watch them upstairs. I'd bring some toys upstairs in my room and let them play with it. Tell them, hey, that's your area. Don't mess with none of my stuff. You know?
Tell me about watching them upstairs in your room.
They just sit there, play with the toys, want a whole lot of snacks. And of course, I wouldn't give them snacks right away. You know, you ain't about to be all hyped up on me.
Does this include Sky, or are you talking mainly about Zane and Quinton?
Zane and Quinton, I didn't actually watch Sky. She was still, relatively young, like 3 or 4 months old, somewhere around there. So I didn't actually watch Sky, but I watched Zane and Quinton quite a bit whenever they needed me to.
Did you ever help them, and maybe not because of the shift you work, but did you ever help with getting them dressed in the morning, getting them fed, getting them bathed and put down at night or anything like that?
I bathed them once or twice when I was there. And as far as feeding, I would help with that, but it was more so when I was there, because I was working from 2 to 10. So they'd usually eat between 6 and 9 at night, give or take those time periods.
And you started saying some nice things about Quinton earlier, and I did not follow up, and I guess I'll do that now.
Mm-hmm.
What was your relationship like with Quinton?
Well, he loved me. I mean, he'd come up to me, he'd put his arms over my knees, and I'd just sit there and bounce him for a good hour or two till my legs got tired. He weighed a good 20, 30 pounds. But, I mean, I loved him. I mean, I tell him to shut up.
My mom might have been fucked up, but Mama always said if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Paul, shut up.
But, I mean, that was about as mean as it got towards him with me, you know what I mean? Kids don't want to stop talking.
What did your during the time period that you're working at Eclipse and working the 2 p.m. shift that you've mentioned, what did a normal day look like for you?
I don't neither, Lady R. But who prepped this guy for court? Who prepped him for court? All the words you need. Okay.
Not talking about any particular day, but just kind of give us an example.
I'd get up in the morning between 9, 10 o'clock-ish, usually, and then watch some TV, get up, take my dog out, let him use the bathroom, bring him back in the room, continue watching some TV, and then get ready and go to work. I mean, it was just, out of the TV or playing a video game.
What about after work?
After work, I'd get off. Just like I said at the police station, I'd get off, roll me a blunt, and go on about my day.
Tell me about the blunt rolling and the going on about your day.
I'd sit there in the parking lot because I wasn't going to try to drive and roll at the same time, you know what I mean? So I'd sit there in the parking lot, roll. Then as I was driving down the road, I would light it up and smoke on the way home because my mom had a strict rule of no smoking in her car. So you'd have to roll down the windows and be able to smoke in the car.
What car were you driving around the time of the incident?
The 2012 Silverado.
Okay. What color is it?
White.
Okay. And is that the truck that was parked next to the Dodge Journey when the police arrived?
Yes, sir.
Like I said, you can't help your circumstances, right? My heart actually goes out to Paul. My heart actually goes out to Leilani. My heart goes out to Joe. My heart goes out to Michael. my heart goes out to the first Quinton, Nathaniel Quinton, who Quinton was named after. There was no real parenting. I'm not perfect. I have fuck ups in my family just like this. I tell you guys about my son, the one with the babies. However, I'm pretty sure if my son had to go to court and sit on a stand, he wouldn't talk like this. I do think that this is a win for Quinton, not a loss. Good character witness. However, they followed it with a fucking psychic. Bad play, in my opinion. Unless there's going to be more to that later. In my opinion, BJ should be held accountable. Yes. Listen. When I look at Quinton's case, I look at this. I see a lot of similarities in cases because of the family I came from. My mother was a fuck up. Not like Billy Joe, but a lot similar. The drugs, the alcohol, the partying, men before kids, worried about themselves, selfish. I love my mom. That changed. We've spoke about that in the past, right? But that's also why I'm so judgmental when it comes to this. This is a really good example of a family with addiction. I have no judgment. You'd find a lot of this in my family. Okay? I'm not judging them based on that. I'm telling you that I feel sorry because of them. Because of the addiction. And if I remember, if my memory serves me correctly, Billy's family, mother, priors weren't great either. That's where it's generational. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting here downing Paul. What I'm saying is this shows. You see Leilani and Billy both on the news, like, tweaking out together, right? You know that there's another child who was handsome. I have a heart for shit like that because my 15-year-old brother went to prison in similar circumstances, but we can only learn from that. That's why it's important to show this shit. Maybe in somebody who's on the urge of becoming an addict will look at this and say, oh, fuck no, yeah, you're right. I don't want to touch that meth pipe. You know what I mean? And then so many other people in the family suffer because of it. These babies, when they were little, they suffered. In my opinion. I don't know. So many levels. And it's not just this family. It's families all over America. All over. It's sad. The children always suffer the most, and they grow up to be adults, and then their children suffer, then their children suffer, then their children suffer. It's a pattern of addiction. It's the generational shit that you're seeing. And it's sad for any family. How do we fix that so the babies don't get murdered? How do we as a society fix that so that the drugs are gone? There's no way our government even brings them. Man, I can go on for hours and hours. Let me get back to Paul.
Tell me what you would do when you get home.
I'd get home, I'd go upstairs, let the dog out, then probably smoke again, and then go to bed. Watch a little bit of TV if I had enough time, and then go to bed.
Tell us about the dog. When did you get the dog?
I got the dog when I was still working at FedEx in 2019. He passed away January 1st this year.
One more thing. Here's a good example. You could see how Danny sat on a stand. He was poised. He talked kindly, even when he was aggravated. He didn't talk like a hoodlum. You know what I mean? You could see the difference in parenting and in the families. I have a feeling Danny has a great future ahead of him. I have a feeling he's going to stay sober no matter what, and he's going to do good things when all of this is said and done. I hope these people learn something from it. They're not babies, dude.
Here from a advanced heartworm disease.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and but he was my pride and joy. Love that little fool.
What? You said what now?
He was a little fool. He was a little retard.
You want me to go back? There's so much more to hear. He was a little retard. Oh, they're done. They came back. 6 minutes. That's what you were saying. I thought you meant watch Paul again. Okay, hold on.
Let's break that down a little bit. Where were you when this pushed?
All right, so let's begin. The
Oh,
statement called
perfect.
defense witness.
So Liam McCarter.
Step this way, ma'am. Face the clerk and raise your right hand.
And as we begin, this is the point at which we want the cameras diverted from from the witness's face, from Ms. McCarter's face.
The evidence you shall give the court and jury in the trial of this issue should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Step this way, ma'am.
Good afternoon. And before we begin, are we good on camera, Engel?
Yes. But we got her when she was being sworn in because we didn't know that was the witness that was sensitive. So we'll have to tell everybody not to use that footage.
All right. Thank you, Grace. All right. All right, Mr. Dean.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury here?
Hi, I'm Talia McCarter.
And how do you spell your first name?
TALEA
And your last name?
MCCARTA,
Where do you live? What city and state? Not the address.
Savannah, Georgia.
Do you live on Buckhalter Road?
Yes, sir.
And did your family used to provide babysitting services for the defendant's 3 children?
Yes, sir.
Have I asked you how old you are yet? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
No, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
Are you in school?
Yes, sir.
Where are you in school?
Homeschool.
Okay. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 10. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Okay. That's all right. If you need a break at any point, just let me know, okay?
Sir.
I understand you're starting a new job tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Where are you going to be working?
At Larry's Giant Subs.
Is that your first big girl job, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you know Quinton son?
Yes, sir.
How did you come to know him?
through my mom and them and Miss Sandra.
And tell us about, well, who's Miss Sandra, first of all?
Miss Sandra is Tommy, Billy Joe's husband's sister.
Okay. And how do you, when you say you know him through Miss Sandra, what do you mean by that?
Miss Sandra went to church with us, and she just came up to my mom and sister and asked if my sister could babysit them.
Okay. And is that how the babysitting stuff started?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the beginning of that. How did it play out?
Miss Sandra had came and knocked on the door and asked if my mom could babysit some kids, and my mom said, well, I'll be working, but I can ask my daughter. And my sister said yes.
And what's your sister's name?
Maritza McCarta.
Is she older or younger than you?
She's older than me.
How old is she now?
19 years old.
Okay. So going forward from that, did you all start babysitting the kids?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And between the two of you, you and your older sister, did one or the other have responsibility for one or the other kids? It's kind of a confusing question. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. My sister really had most of the responsibility, but I would be there to play with Quinton stuff and Zane.
Were you and your sister, were you or her closer to Quinton than the other?
It was both of us. Yes, sir. We really loved both of us.
Tell us about spending time with Quinton. Where would you spend time with him?
Throughout the whole house, Quinton, he would open the door, like when it was cracked, he would push it open with his hand. He'll come in there and he'll love on you.
What door are we talking about here?
The bedroom door.
In your house?
Yes, sir.
And what do you mean by he'd come in and love on you?
Like, he'll run to you, open his arms, and just throw himself on you and give you a kiss on the cheek.
Did you like spending time with Quinton?
Yes, sir.
Now, was there ever a time where you spent time around Quinton and Leilani together?
Yes, sir.
And during those times, did you ever see her treat him in a way that upset you?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about any of those times?
With the console, like the PlayStation remote control, when she said that Quinton had got a hold of it, and it was the night before, and I guess she still got mad talking about it, so she pushed him down.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. Where were you when this push happened?
She was by the tiki bar, and I was by closer towards the pool where the little step is.
Okay, so whose house were you at?
Billy Joe's.
Okay. You're out back between the tiki bar area and the pool.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was it that caused Leilani to push Quinton?
She got mad because he had supposedly broken the controller to her PS4.
Okay. And how did this come up?
When I walked up, I asked her if I could get Quinton, and she said, yes, please take him. And then she just led off the conversation because he got a hold. I'm pretty sure she said it was her brother's controller, and he was going to be mad at her.
And what time of day was this?
I'm going to say around 2.
In the afternoon, I presume?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said you came up. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from my mom's house.
And where was Leilani?
Leilani was outside.
Okay. In the back there?
Yes, sir.
And where was Quinton?
Quinton was inside.
Okay. And you said you were coming over to see if you could get Quinton.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
I know the night before her and Danny was arguing or something, and she had called my phone to see if I could come get him, and it was like around 4 a.m, and I told her I wasn't allowed at the house that late, and I didn't want to wake my mom up. She had work the next morning, but I would be over there the next day to grab him for my sister.
Did you say she called you or she texted you? I didn't catch that.
She called me.
Okay. She called you at like 4 a.m. and asked you to come take Quinton?
Yes, sir.
And why did she want you to do that?
She was getting aggravated with him.
Okay. So it's the next day that you went over to get him?
Yes, sir.
And what were you going to do with him?
I was going to grab him and take him over to our house.
All right. And is that something that you would do from time to time? Come and get him and just take him?
Every day.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Was he like your buddy?
Sir?
Was he like your buddy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you come up, you said Quinton's inside, and Leilani is out back by the pool, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're there to get Quinton.
Yes, sir.
And at some point, she pushed him.
Yes, sir.
At what point did he go from being inside to outside?
He had walked up because the door, you could see through it. So he had walked up and put his hands and his mouth against the door, and he was happy. And she opened the door. She put the door handle and she pushed it open, and she was continuing telling me the story. And Quinton started saying bubbles. He wanted bubbles. And she pushed him, took her hand and pushed the middle of his chest and pushed him.
And what was the bubbles thing about? He said he wanted bubbles.
He loved bubbles.
Okay. Are you talking about like soap bubbles that you blow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When she pushed him, what did she use to push him with first?
Her hand.
And where did she put her hand on his body?
Right here. In the middle.
And at that point, her hand's on his chest, and what does she do?
She pushes him.
And what happened to him when she pushed him?
He falls on his butt.
And what did he do?
He looked at me and held his arms out and started crying. And I told Leilani that upsetted me.
And what did you do it? You okay?
I'm good. I'm sorry.
When he fell, what part of his body hit? Did he fall on the ground, I guess?
Yes, sir. His tush hit the floor.
Okay. And said he started crying and reached out his arms to you.
Yes, sir.
Did you pick him up?
Yes, sir.
And did you say anything to Leilani?
I told her that wasn't necessary because it happened last night, but she should have talked to him first.
And what happened from there?
I took him. I walked him home with me. I don't know what she did after.
So you talked about that one push. Was there anything else that you remember that was like that?
The pool incident.
What's the pool incident?
It was me and my sister, and I believe 2 of my nephews with me over at her pool swimming. And Zane had got in the pool, and Quinton wanted in there. And I was fixing to go grab Quinton to put him in there. But instead of her listening to me tell her, hold on, let me get his floaty on, she just full on pushed him in the pool.
Pushed him with what?
Her hand.
And where on his body did she make contact with?
The back.
Like middle of the back, upper back, lower back?
The middle. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And she just pushed him into the pool?
Yes, sir.
And he didn't have any floaties on, it sounds like?
No, sir.
Okay. Was he able to swim at this point?
No, sir.
What happened once he was pushed into the pool?
He went underwater, and when he came back out, he caught his breath, trying to catch his breath, and then he started crying.
Was he coughing or anything?
Yes, sir.
And how did Leilani react to that?
She said she really didn't care because if Zane could learn how to swim, then Quinton needed to be as smart as Zane.
Now, what did you do when Quinton came up and was coughing and crying?
I looked at my sister and I told her I'm going home. And then that's when I asked Leilani, I said, can I take Quinton home? She said, yes, I don't care.
And how were you feeling at that point?
I was mad because wondering in my head how she could push him in the pool knowing without any floaties and knowing he can't swim at all.
How was Quinton as you were walking home with him? Did you dry him off or anything first? Or?
I did dry him off. I wrapped him in a towel and he laid his head on my shoulder.
And what happened when you got home?
When I got home, I had put a pull-up on him and he went and laid on the couch with his teddy bear.
And did you lay on the couch with him or did you just leave him alone or what?
I went to go fix him some juice and then I laid on the couch with him.
How long did y'all lay there?
About 2 hours because he had fell asleep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you take a nap there with him?
No, sir, because I was afraid I was going to squish him if I fell asleep with him.
Anything else you remember that was like those two things?
other than her getting mad at him with the stairs and stuff.
Tell me about that.
It was one night when I went over there, and she was smoking. She had went upstairs, and she was talking to me about Quinton's father. And she said she don't know how Quinton could look so much like his dad when she's the one that gave birth to him. And I said, well, I don't know, because I didn't want to really get into that kind of stuff. It wasn't my problem. And she just kept going on about it, and Quinton was down the stairs. And I said, Leilani, he needs help down the stairs because I had Sky in my hands. And she said, he's a big boy, he can do it. I said, no, he can't, because her stairs in Billy Joe's house was kind of weird. And I said, he needs help. She said, no, he doesn't. And Quinton just continues to roll.
Are you talking about the stairs to the second floor?
Yes, sir.
You said Quinton continues to roll. What do you mean?
When he tripped on the first one, and he starts rolling down. And I hand her Sky, and I grab Quinton.
How was Quinton when you picked him up?
He was fine. He really didn't cry.
Okay. Anything else you remember that was like that?
No, sir.
You mentioned that incident started with her asking or wondering how he could look so much like his father. What was her tone of voice like when she was saying that? I mean, she sounded happy, angry, sad?
She sounded angry.
Do you remember if you seem like a pretty mild-mannered person?
Yes, sir.
But if I asked you to tell me what it sounded like when she said it, would you be able to do that or not?
Yes, sir. You want the whole, just how she said it?
Yeah.
When I walked in, she was like, hey, I got a question. I said, yes. And she said, how the F could Quinton look just like his daddy? I'm the one that gave birth to him. And I said, I don't know, Leilani. I really don't know. She said, Zane's been my number one since he was born, and Quinton's just sitting there and useless.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Do you remember telling us last week about an incident where Leilani hit Quinton in the face? I think backhanded was the word you used.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember telling us about that?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about that now?
From the beginning, correct?
Yeah.
Zane and Quinton was out in the street. I was walking to the shed because that's where our laundry room that is.
Were you at your house at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said you have a laundry room in the shed.
Yes, sir.
So what were you walking out to the shed to do?
Do my chore, which was transfer the clothes from the washer into the dryer.
And at what point did you see Zane and Quinton?
When I was going towards the shed.
And what were they doing?
They were by the mailboxes on the other side of the road, going inside the ditch.
Okay. Were they in the road or next to the road or what?
They were in the road.
Okay. And were there any adults with them?
No, sir.
What time of day was this?
It was a little bit in the morning. I'm gonna say around 11 or 12.
Okay. And when you saw them out there, what did you do?
I ran
Ran where?
to get Quinton and Zane.
What happened next?
As I was going to get them, there was a white car passing with a lady inside of it.
I'm sorry to stop you. I don't mean to interrupt you because you asked from the beginning and I did say yes, right?
Yes, sir.
But I don't want you to tell us anything about what anybody said to you other than things that the defendant said to you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So let's skip the white car part, all right? So after the white car drove by, what happened next?
I took the kids back to my mom's house. My mom told me to take them to Leilani's. So,
Don't testify about anything anybody else said.
yes,
Okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, so you went back to your house and you said at some point, did you take them back to Leilani's house?
yes, sir.
And why did you do that?
My mom told me to.
Okay. And where did you take them when you took them back?
I took them when I entered. It was behind where the pool part is, the
Okay.
back.
So you
Yes, sir.
walked around the back
Yes, sir.
and you had both of the kids with you at this point?
Yes, sir.
What happened from there?
I kept knocking on the door. Leilani would not answer. And I kept banging and banging. I just continued to bang until she answered. She came outside and I said, Leilani, Quinton and them was on the road and she was asleep. And instead of her taking the knowledge of what she had done and wasn't awake with them, she just backhanded Quinton in the face.
Can you describe that in a little more detail? What did it look like?
She raised
30-second stretch. If I could jump through this fucking computer, I would grab that witch. You know what? I'm going to get kicked off YouTube. I'm going to get kicked off YouTube. Hold on. This babysitter's daughter, I'm proud of you. No matter what I've said in the past about your mama, I'm proud of you. You did good today, young lady. Thank you.
her hand all the way back and she just backhanded him. When she did, his head hit the concrete.
Where on his face did her hand hit him?
Right here.
And you're gesturing. I gotta say this for the court reporter and the transcript and all that. You're gesturing towards like your cheekbone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said that this knocked him down.
Yes, sir.
Did she hit him hard?
Yes, sir.
And when he fell down, what happened?
I looked at her and then he started crying. He got up. When I lifted him up, he got up and he ran to me and he started pointing to my mom's house.
Did you say that his head hit the concrete out there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he ran to you and you said he started pointing?
Yes, sir. Pointing directions to my mom's house.
Were you holding him at that point or was he still on the ground or what?
I think it was after a minute I did pick him up. Yes, sir.
Okay. And his pointing towards your house, what did you take that to mean?
I knew he wanted to go with me, but Leilani wanted them to stay.
Okay. Did you take him home?
I believe I took Quinton home because she didn't want me taking Zane home.
Were there any other incidents you remember that involved the defendant, Leilani, pushing him, hitting him, or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there anything that you heard, other than what you've already mentioned, and you've talked about some of this stuff, was there anything that you ever heard her say that caused you to believe that she didn't like Quinton or didn't feel the same way about him as she felt about Zane?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about those things, that if the ones that you haven't mentioned yet?
Yes, sir. She would call me over there and ask if she could talk to me. And I would go over there and she would just complain about Quinton, how Quinton wasn't like Zane. He wasn't smart like Zane. And that the only reason that she loved Zane and she didn't love Quinton is because Zane's been through everything with her and Quinton hasn't been through nothing.
Did she ever point blank tell you anything about whether she had any feelings of love or affection towards Quinton at all?
Yes, sir. She told me she did not love him at all.
She said that to you?
Yes, sir.
Where was that when she said that?
We was on the back porch. He was in on the back porch. There's like a play area with a gate.
Is that with the brown couch in it and the slide and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who was, you were out there, and was Quinton out there?
I was in the play thing with Quinton and she was by the tiki bar.
Okay. How did that come up, that she's saying that about Quinton at that time?
She was mad at Danny.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And how did it get on to Quinton and saying that about Quinton?
Because Quinton was making noises with his mouth and saying he was calling out for Danny. He kept saying, Danny, Danny. And she kept getting mad about that.
She was mad at Danny at the time?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And Quinton was calling out for Danny?
Yes, sir.
And that's what led up to her saying that thing about Quinton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did Quinton ever stay the night at your house?
Oh, yes, sir.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir. We would have Quinton for weeks at a time at our house. She never called to check on Quinton. But we never complained about it because we really enjoyed Quinton being at our house, being able to love on him. And I'm sorry.
You miss him?
Yes, sir.
Think you're ready to be done with this now?
It doesn't matter. I'm fine.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were there times where Quinton would sleep over at your house, but the other kids would?
Yes, sir.
How did that come about? How did that happen?
When Leilani would say she's coming to pick up the kids, she would be like, "Oh, I'm coming," or "Danny's coming to pick up the kids." Quentin would never want to go when it was her, so she was like, "He could just stay here. It's fine."
How was Danny with Quentin and the kids?
Danny loved the kids a lot. He was good with them. He treated them how they were supposed to be treated.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Em, the last time you were asked to talk about these incidents with us, you noted that these incidents happened in May, June, and July of 2022. Is that correct?
I didn't say. I said I didn't know the exact months.
Okay. Well, the different incidents we've talked about.
Yes, sir.
All the incidents that you named. Can you tell me when they happened?
No, sir. I cannot.
Okay. And when you saw them happen, the things that you've described here in court, did you call anybody like the police?
No, sir. I did not.
Did you call anybody like DFACS to report Leilani?
No, sir. I did not.
The PlayStation controller push you described, he fell back on his bottom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you see any kind of bruise or mark or a cut or anything on Quinton as a result of the push you say you saw?
Not at the time, no, sir.
And the pool incident, obviously that was in the warmer months, but you can't say when that happened either, can you?
I know it was in summer sometime, but I don't know the exact month.
Okay. And in Savannah, summer can be a pretty long time.
Yes, sir.
Same question as before. Did you call the police about it or DFACS or any authority to report Leilani Simon?
No, sir, I did not.
The stairs incident, I think he went down the stairs and you got to him, but he didn't cry, did he?
Not for long. He didn't really let out a long one.
And you didn't see any marks or injuries or bruises?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. What kind?
It was a bruise on right here by his head.
Okay. Now the roadway incident.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As I understand it, you were at your house and you saw the boys out there near the road.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you went there. Actually, you ran to them, did you not?
Yes, sir, I did.
Because you recognized kids in a roadway with cars going by can be a very dangerous situation, can't it?
Yes, sir.
And it can be very upsetting.
Yes, sir.
And you knocked on the door, but couldn't get an answer right.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea how Zane and Quinton then got out of the house on their own?
Zane knew how to open doors.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And right now, in recounting these different incidents, you can't give an exact date about when they happened, can you?
No, sir, I cannot.
And we've already established you didn't call the police about it, call any authority or any DFACS to report what happened.
No, sir, I did not.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
When these things would happen, was there anybody you tell?
I would tell my mom.
No further questions.
Ms. McCarter, you're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Dean, you may call your next witness. Is this the witness that's expected to take some time?
Yes, ma'am.
On second thought, maybe we'll take a stop. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to excuse you for the evening. We're going to reconvene tomorrow morning at 9:00 a.m. I think by now you know the routine. I will instruct you not to discuss the case, not to do any research, not to allow anyone to discuss the case around you. Please do not consume any media regarding this case. All right. And with that, you're excused.
Jurors exiting.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything that everyone can have a seat. Is there anything that we need to take up before we stop for the evening? From the state?
I don't think so, Your Honor. Nothing that comes to mind.
Mr. Hilliard?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Okay. We'll start up again in the morning at 9:00 a.m. At this time, we are in recess.
5:51. I feel like they ended early. It's because I took that break. Maybe that's what I need to do during the day to help out in my house. This is crazy. This is a crazy ass trial. This is one of the craziest trials I ever fucking seen. Honestly, Lady R. I cannot believe they brought that psychic lady in. I had no clue that that girl was like that. That was a big But you know what? They got to win with the babysitter's daughter. They got to win with Danny. Shit, music. Hold on. Yeah. Who? Oh, the psychic lady? Who the hell knows? She'll probably try to make one after this. You're going to see Ryan's wife run into her. We're going to have Juanita out there with fucking signs. We're going to have Dusty out there. Ernie's going to be back. Watch. All the fucking psychics are going to go crazy. Hey, does anybody remember when Voices Behind the Wall thought she was psychic? She was all into all that shit. And then she came out and told Dawn she was praying. Remember they started praying on her channel? Just thought I'd clown a little bit. You notice how they all start praying? Benny started praying. They're all sinners. And then it's all like, oh, dear Lord, hallelujah. Dawn Wells, they will do anything to chase the clout. All right. So I'm good for another hour. What do you guys want to do? I actually had a clown show video that I was going to show. I believe it's the one with the brother Michael Simon. Usually no one is allowed to eat in court. Nope. But I'm like, hey, let her fucking eat. She's already gotten fat. I'm fat. that too. I have no right to judge, but fuck, let it go to her hips, her ass. She deserves it. That's all she does. It's and all you hear about is her eating and food and this and eating. Yes, I have that. I plan on going over that someday this week. I was actually looking for it, and then Paul came on a stand. That's what one of the things I was looking for. I have that. So we'll go over that someday. Yeah, maybe she will get a clogged artery. Speaking of which, another night, not following Quinton, I want to go over that doctor that testified for other reasons. He was amazing. See, that's what I like about trials. You get these expert witnesses that come up and you learn some stuff and things become easier to explain. I've had people in my chat ask me about my son's heart issue and my heart issue, and it's always been very confusing to explain because I'm not a doctor. However, when I talk to a doctor, I can understand it and talk back and explain it. So listening to him today was really eye-opening for me, and I was like, yay, go. I was excited for him just as much as I was excited for the babysitter's daughter and Danny, to be honest with you. I was shocked they brought a cardiologist up there. I get excited about things like that. Sorry. The courtroom is judge's place, rules. Yeah. I promised them babies I'd make cookies with them today, so I have to go do that. They're all upstairs being good. Earl got them cleaning their rooms. Can you believe it? They're behaving. It's quiet. I told my big kids stay out of the fucking house. I'd rather just have the little kids. My second round, I'm calling them like, y'all don't even come home. We got the kids. All right, let's do some, because I promised I'd show some tragedy pimp shit every day. So we got to do that. That's number one. Where the hell did it go? Here it is. I can remove the clown if it gets to be too much. I just wanted to make sure it was on there for a little bit. Let me know.
No, not him again.
And I figured it was fitting because it does kind of look like rap, right? He sent the clown there. I got that clip too.
No, not him again.
Who is this one?
This might be a new one.
Yay, we got a different one.
He's right there.
Oh, God. Sir?
I said, y'all can't stop him.
We're not stopping
We're
him.
not stopping nobody from leaving.
No, it is not. You better go on somewhere with that property shit.
County owns this.
Have a nice day.
We don't feel safe with them being out in the neighborhood.
25 feet. Are you okay with letting baby killers?
He didn't tell me to leave, sir.
Killer family, and the public is not safe having them out in public.
Thank you.
Trespass me? Is he telling me to leave?
I want to press charges for trying to hook.
I'm not leaving.
No, this ain't their property.
You can't block the road.
This ain't their property.
Oh, shit. Not you again.
That's 45.
Yeah, Barney Fight.
He didn't. I haven't been asked to leave off the property. So trespass me first.
Y'all can't block them from trying to get out.
This ain't their property. They don't feel safe. They don't own this. This is county property. No, it's county property.
Lock them off.
Y'all didn't arrest that bitch for trying to take my husband with a baseball bat.
People out in public.
Hey, you just let them out?
No.
No.
They can leave anytime they want. Nobody's stopping them. They got their own foot on the pedal. They got.
He's got a right to free travel.
He can go. Nobody stopped him.
Standing in front of you.
You're standing in front of him. So you're stopping him? You're impeding traffic, sir.
They can move.
You're impeding traffic, sir.
Let's go. Come on.
Run me over. That'd be a bad mistake because I'm
You gotta get out of the way.
It's not illegal to kill people in Savannah. I'm not moving. Not illegal. If he runs me over,
The public is not safe with this family being
I don't have to move. County property. I don't have
They
to
should
move.
all be fucking in jail already. Every fucking one.
County property. Justice for Quinton. Where's Leilani?
Where's your
Smile. You got me on camera. Smile.
Stupid.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that was me.
Fuck you. You ain't shit, bitch. Get out and put me off your property. Get out and put me off your property, bitch.
Back up, back up.
No, you back up.
All right, so y'all are stopping them from leaving.
I am not stopping nobody, sir. I am.
Yeah, just
Look where I am. I am stopping this guy from leaving his property.
Are you going to leave?
I'm not on the property,
You're
sir.
blocking them from getting
No, I am not, sir.
out. Then back up a little bit for me. That's all I'm asking.
They arrested me.
No.
Oh,
Hey. Hey, y'all better stop. You better stop. You finna get it, Bo. Chomp. You a chomp. Worthless piece of shit. You a chomp.
I want a supervisor.
You a chomp.
No, I want a supervisor.
Come on, Nicole. Where's your supervisor? Where's your supervisor?
You gonna get out of the roadway?
I ain't in the road. I ain't in the road, bro. You better back up off of me now. I'm telling you right now, you better back off of me. Watch what I do.
Get out of the way, sir.
Now you gonna arrest me?
Yes, sir.
I'm not on the property,
You're
sir.
under arrest.
No, sir. I'm
Yes,
not
you
on
are.
the property, sir. Stop.
You're under arrest.
I'm not on their property.
You're
sir.
under arrest.
No, sir. I'm not on their property.
You're under arrest.
Stop now. I'm not on their
Keep your
property.
handcuffs.
Stop. Come on. I'm not on their. I'm
You're
not
under
on their
arrest.
property, sir.
You're under arrest.
God damn. Stop, dude.
Give me handcuffs.
I'm not doing nothing. I was on private property,
We have not
sir.
done anything. We are on public property. Get him in.
We'll
leave, man. Come on.
leave. I'm on chemotherapy.
Come on, bro. I'm not doing nothing, man. That is wrong, man.
Sitting next to me in the street.
Chill out.
Nothing
We're wait for the judge.
A judge.
Hey, can y'all take my car to the damn motel for my son?
Sheena,
I'm right here.
get my phone.
Mister, somebody get my car.
Yeah, why we? Hey, why y'all ain't locking up
Why
my
didn't y'all
car?
lock up that
367.
dude?
We got 395.
Why didn't y'all lock up that dude for
Come on,
3?
turn around, sir.
John,
Spread your legs,
just
sir.
stop.
I ain't done that.
Spread your legs. Thank you, sir. Got any weapons on you?
You already seen my video about McKeesport, right? I couldn't imagine that taking place anywhere here. Well, yeah, I could. They started to with the Trump shit in front of dude's house up there in Bethel, which is literally 5 minutes from me, right? Like 10 minutes at most, depending on traffic and how fast you want to go down 51 or Sawmill. But yeah, I couldn't imagine that in the hood. Speaking of which, I named a case the other day that I want to take a look at with you guys one night. I want to come on after the trial. Neziah Harris. I'd like to look at that case with you guys. And I'd like to bring up a few more cases of children of color, because I feel like they don't get enough attention here on YouTube unless it's a high profile case that like Benny or somebody inserted themselves in because they go to a high priced neighborhood where middle class people live and it ain't the hood, and they disrupt. Right, there you go, there it is. And they disrupt lives. You know what I mean? I think all children matter, is what I'm saying. So I would like to go over the Neziah Harris case one day. Yeah, these people are crazy. This is when they all got arrested. Right. Never. You know why? Because these tragedy pimps can't go to their area and harass those type of people. You know what I mean? Like rural people. They can't. I mean, everybody's a rural person, but it makes me mad. You want to know what really makes me mad is the queues. I feel like they could do more, but we'll save that for another night. Mm-hmm. Jesus. It's nuts, ain't it? I don't really want to stay on here too long, guys. I hate to cut you in short, but I do want to go make cookies with the kids. I kicked the big kids out. Like, they're gone till 10. I told them they're not even allowed to come back till 10. Get the fuck out. I had enough of them today. I prefer the littles. I'm going to go give Nico a bath. I'm going to make cookies. We're having air fried chicken for dinner. Oh, maybe I'll come back tonight when they're in bed, but I doubt it. I think I'm going to cuddle with them tonight. I think we're going to watch some TV, maybe read a couple books. Today made me want to hug my babies. Close. I had a bad morning, but now my asshole dog's at the fucking door scratching it. He wants in. I hope there's a skunk out there chasing him. No, I don't. For that display of eating a mouse yesterday. Well, I was live. Telling you, you're always going to have fucking something stupid going on in my house. If I'm here during the day. Yes, thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Lady R, everybody give Lady R hearts, clappy hands, everything. Because she's an amazing mod. Give my chat for being kind and understanding. Sometimes I come on here and I be giving you prompts like be kind, be kind. And then I hear dumb shit over and over. When you replay something, you get angry. Listening to Paul's testimony, I get angry. But not at Paul. You know? It's the situation. When you do drugs, this is the situation you put your kids in. And then you look like an asshole on the news. Trust me, I know. Ask my brother. Okay. But I'm going to head off of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for trial. What is it? Thursday. And then on the weekend, I'm probably going to be in the evening. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I go day by day. I live a busy life. Yeah, I might be on here again tonight, depending on this bitch. The idiot. There's an update. What? Is there an update, Lady R? Is that what you're telling me? No, there ain't an update. We couldn't be that lucky. She threw Summer in there and confused me. Any information on Summer Wills, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Some point this evening, I'll share her picture again in my community post. You got me confused. It's been a hard day, girl. There we go. She fixed it. I love you. I know. I knew. I wasn't. I was just confused for a minute because it came up looking weird on my end. Wouldn't that be great if we could get some justice for Summer out of nowhere? That would be fucking amazing. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go call my husband down, give him some relief, see how clean the kids' rooms are, and go bake cookies. All right. Mwah, I love you too, Holler Girl. Yes, we love Summer. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the morning. maybe tonight if anybody tries any bullshit. You never know with this fucking psychic lady they had on her. Oh my God, they're going to eat it. Okay. Bye, guys. Peace and love.